Let's go. Welcome everybody to episode 21 of the Bono's Gamers podcast. I'm here tonight with a couple of gamers that I know. And their names are Yugi601. How's it going, Yugi? Oh, you're muted, man. You're muted.
Oh, wow. Epic fail. All right, here we go. Let's try that again.
Thank
you for welcoming. Guys, we are professionals. Bo keeps inviting me, and here's another reason. You know what I mean? But I'm here, and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome.
Appreciate it, man. Yes, sir.
Love that you're here, dude. And we also have Yako from the Tech Update with us again.
Man.
How's it going?
Greetings. Love being here.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And we've already got a couple people watching. GTGT says, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Good
and
evening,
the Construct.
GD.
Good evening, gents.
Hey.
Yeah, good evening to you too, man.
Outstanding.
Good evening.
The Construct may or may not be joining us a little bit later. We'll see.
Sounds
Hello
good.
to anybody else watching tonight. And we got I don't know, I've got some things that I want to talk about tonight regarding gaming. I believe that's why we're here, right? Mostly. And
gaming.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best, man. I'm trying to live up to that name. So what have you guys been playing, man? We'll just jump right into it, man.
Good question. You want to take it first, Yako, or you want me to start yapping?
No, I'm good. Now, since the last time we had the game where we were comparing all of those different types of games. So one of my games was Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2. So that got me itching to play that again. Played a few rounds of that. Enjoyed it. Still playing League of Legends. Enjoyed that as well. That's about it for now. Got a new one. Got one on Steam. Oh, not Steam, on Epic that I got for free. Return Alive. It's kind of a top-down survival shooter. Want to give that a try.
What's it called?
A Return Alive.
Return Alive?
Yeah, so it's kind of a top-down shooter, but you have to survive and get loot, upgrade your guns. Looks quite interesting. So I'm looking for a good co-op shooter. We've got a LAN upcoming, so something co-op that we can play together, but free. That's free as well. That's the other thing.
Gotcha. What about you, Yugi?
Let me think. Okay, so last time we talked, I've been playing Returnal. I took a break from Returnal because the reload system makes me feel like. Have you played Returnal?
Is it too long? Is it really long?
So no, it's not that it's long. It's just the way you reload your gun is like nails on a chalkboard. So it's not like a button. It's like a timed input with the same button you shoot with.
Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of annoying me. So I'm taking a break from that.
Like sort of like Gears of War,
but worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how Gears, when you do the timed reload, there's a dedicated button to it. No, it's the same shoot button. So like, I'm constantly like shooting in the heat of the moment. And I'm screwing up my reload timing. It just makes me want to yell at this lady. But anyway, besides that though, for some reason, I found out Slay the Spire 2 has been announced. So I jumped back into a little bit of Slay the Spire. I've been playing that like just casually, like because my schedule's been kind of stacked, so I haven't been able to game much. But Slay the Spire is great. Deck builder, roguelike type game, strategy based. It's really cool. You know me, my name's Yugi for a reason. I like card games, so I've been playing that. Slay the Spire.
I've actually never asked you that question about your name, but I assume it's from Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
I still have, it's buried a bunch of all my other board games, but I do have Yugi's decks, his legendary decks, buried somewhere in this mountain of nerd. So,
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So you learn something new every day. I learn something new about you, man.
Got to be a little mysterious. Can't give it all away, you know.
Keeps it interesting.
There you go. Take notes, gentlemen. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. To all the bachelors out there.
Yeah, right. There you go. Now they know.
Oh man. Man, so I have a video coming out sometime this week. I'm not sure when I'm going to get it. So I'm working on a secret project with for a company for a product they have coming out soon. I can't talk about it yet, but I have to finish this video.
He made it, boys.
Yeah, I have to finish this video. So I don't know, but it's not. But there's a date it's going to release on specifically, but I don't. So that's in the way of me getting out something else because I got to finish this one first. But I think I have enough time, hopefully this week, to get another one, squeeze another one out too. So, but that one's going to involve this game that I want to show you right here, because in this game, it's a VR game. All right. It's called Vendetta Forever. It's not out yet, but this is the demo or the gameplay trailer for it. And I played the demo, and that's one of the things I'm going to be doing in this upcoming video is showing this off. But this game,
Meat Space is a crazy studio name.
yeah. Just watch this. So when you take down an enemy, they drop their weapon, and you grab the weapon and teleport to their weapon to move through the level.
Sure.
And you have to like matrix dodge bullets and stuff the whole time. And it is so freaking fun. Look at this. Tell me that
he's
that's
going
not
down
awesome.
the stairs. Oh yeah, that's straight out of the John Woo movie right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I like that they censored their trailer.
Yeah. So this is like super hot on crack.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
I like it.
Oh,
Outstanding. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
looks interesting, eh?
It's a pretty cool game. So I was just playing this and thinking, man, I couldn't believe like how much fun I was having just with the demo. And it's a pretty good demo too, because it gives you several levels to play through. And I was just like, dude, the replayability factor of this thing is gonna be insane, because there's certain like they have like a time that you try to beat. Okay, so and then they tell you like if you're in the top 25% or whatever. So there's like leaderboard stuff, but there's also different ways. It's not necessarily linear. It's sort of, there's a puzzle solving mechanic in a way to it, or like you map your own way through the the level. So I don't know. I'm just really excited about it, and I've had a lot of fun with the demo.
That's dope. That's dope.
Now that stairs scene kind of reminds me of a scene in Daredevil, the TV series. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Daredevil, the second series, fights this biker gang going down in a stairwell.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That was one of the best fighting scenes I've ever seen. But yeah, it looks kind of like that. So it looks interesting.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Yes, it's like Super Hot meets Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip's not as well known, so I didn't mention it. But yeah, that's exactly what it is, and it's really good.
Yeah, Mina is tripping. I know. I'm gonna have to talk to her later.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put that one up there. But thank you for your comment.
Yeah, she's funny, man. Oh man, lock in, Yasmina. Lock in.
So yeah, I've been playing that. I also have been playing. You're gonna laugh at this because this is not my kind of game at all. I have never in my life played a Warriors game. You know the Warriors games?
Yeah.
Where it's just like a huge army that attacks you and you're just like kicking 50 guys at once. You know those games?
Yeah. Dynasty Warriors, yeah.
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors. Yeah, that kind of genre. I've never played one of those games, but I bought on on the Steam Summer Sale. I bought a Warriors game, and it's a One Piece set in the One Piece franchise world, the anime One Piece, and it's so freaking fun. I never thought that I would like a Warriors game. It just never appealed to me. But this, I don't know. I've been having a really fun. I can't even tell you the name of it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really fun. So I've been
it's good because it's like it's not super complex enough to where like it's one of those games you can kind of just jump in and have fun, and that's okay sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
I know Persona 5 had a Warriors like game recently. I think it was called Strikers.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a good universe, and it's not like one of those games you got to like really lock in and turn your brain on. You could just have fun, throw it on, and those are always fun. I think they're underappreciated for that aspect though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because it's not like a fighting game where you've got to memorize all these combos and stuff, but you just feel like you're so powerful. Like you just run through and just taking on all these dudes all at once. And with these huge, really cool looking special moves. Yeah. What do we got here? I told you I would. Y'all weren't even 20 minutes in. I should put money on it, especially because it took you all out. Yeah. Well, we'll know next time.
Yeah. She is quite the character, gentlemen. You'll see.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've been playing mostly.
Nope.
Good stuff.
So have y'all seen this stuff? Well, okay, so you've heard about Star Wars Outlaws, I'm sure, at this point. This new Ubisoft game. Have you watched any of the coverage? Because a bunch of things dropped about it today. I guess the embargo is up, maybe. Have you seen any of that?
Yeah, I looked
like
through
in
some
terms
of the
of
trailers.
reviews.
In terms of like reviews, yeah. Or
no, I haven't seen any reviews. I saw gameplay. I mean,
they've put out gameplay. Yeah. What did you think of that?
Gameplay.
No,
I feel like go ahead, Jaco.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I never know how I feel about playing the bad guy. I've never been crazy about that, but this looks okay. Looks kind of like it could be like a type of Robin Hood, space Robin Hood type of thing. The reputation system looks interesting. That you have to build up rep with these different syndicates. So, and the graphics obviously awesome. Game mechanics looks pretty good. So, looks interesting. I definitely like to get into it.
So, obviously there's varying opinions about all of this. There's always going to be, no matter what the game is. But I have seen, now that people are able to speak freely about it, because it was kind of came out that Ubisoft was saying, no, you have to say only positive things basically about our game in the preview area of time, as people were getting their hands on experience for the first time. They were censoring some things. Well, now I guess with that up, they can't do that, so people are being a little more honest about it. And it's funny you mentioned the reputation system, because one of the things that I've seen is that the reputation system is a huge missed opportunity in this game, that they did not handle it well, which is really unfortunate. I wanted to show you this little clip from I've only watched a couple of videos from this guy, so I don't really know how he seems pretty popular, but I don't know much about him. That's what I'm trying to say. But I wanted to just see this clip from him really quick, because I thought this was just so atrocious.
The title is spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for sure.
From start to finish, whether it be the side content or the main story, the game feels
I'm not able to hear it. I don't know about you.
I just muted it.
Okay.
But this part right here, this is the part I wanted you to see. They're supposed to be attacking her right now.
Oh no. Oh no.
And this guy's spazzing. You can't, it's like they can't even see her. She's not there. Like
my man is
and
he's
sure.
he's Okay.
This is a AAA game that costs upwards of $120. If you get the deluxe edition, it's $120.
That's a
And
yikers.
Oh, boy.
seems
Yeah.
kind of broken. And yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. It's unfortunate that I feel like this is just another symptom of where the gaming industry is right now, where it's gotten to, where we can put out the game and charge all this money and it'd be really disappointing. And then at the same time, there's a lot of different games publications that are saying, no, this is a pretty good game. This is a pretty good game. But a lot of YouTubers saying, it's not that great, really. And when your AI is that messed up, I mean, it looks like they shouldn't have released it. It looks unfinished, but that's they'll just be like, yeah, we'll patch it. I'm sure they'll say, we'll patch it. We'll get it fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's frustrating from a big studio like that.
Exactly. I mean, they don't get much bigger than Ubisoft, right?
No.
Yeah.
And that there's good examples of a AAA Star Wars game with games like Jedi. So it's inexcusable at this point.
I mean, Jedi Survivor came out with some graphical glitches, and maybe it wasn't quite as optimized as it should have been at release. I played it at launch, though, and I loved it. I had a great time. I thought the story was great. I thought everything about it was just fantastic.
Yeah, I know you said on PS5 it was pretty solid, but even the prequel to the game, right? What is it?
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, and then the sequel. Obviously, like you said, it needed some optimization, but
right.
At least with the AI, it worked.
Oh yeah, it worked. I never had it crash on me or anything like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they don't have Jedi in this one at all.
The
Force is not with
thing.
The Force is not with it, for real.
Yeah.
That's another weird thing, man.
Yeah.
No
Jedi, no Force. It's just, like you said, Yako, you're playing the bad guy. More or less.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it goes to that place where it's kind of a Robin Hood thing, steal from the rich, give to the poor, steal from the bad.
Right.
But, I don't know. There hasn't been enough of a review of it yet. The guys that have reviewed it was just preliminary, a few worlds, 2 worlds or something like that. The one guy said that he could play.
Right.
Yeah. From the moment I saw the gameplay, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, it just feels like a wait for sale kind of game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To me.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a huge Star Wars fan. Huge.
I'm sorry. My heart. Everybody pray for this brother. He's going through it. If he's a Star Wars fan, he's been through it.
I have. I mean, I had in high school. I bought a Star Wars dictionary. That's like the kind of nerd that I was. Like I'm read all the books and analyzed the movies frame by frame and like had basically the original trilogy memorized. I was a pretty big Star Wars fan. Not super excited about where it's been lately, and this. So I was not optimistic about this to begin with, personally.
Yeah,
some people were, and that's fine. I wanted the best for them, but yeah, this just looks completely. I don't know the word. Toasted. Done.
It's cooked. It's absolutely cooked.
Hopefully it's not as bad as Concord. Hopefully it's not as bad as that.
That's a whole nother thing. Yugi.
Losing your audio there, but
yeah, we can't hear you. What'd you say, brother?
Last time you looked up the Steam numbers on a game for me.
That was like the Concord. The Concord, was it like the beta test or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you look that up again?
Of course.
What now, because it's out now.
Concord. Oh, okay. Got you.
I saw some numbers yesterday. It didn't look good. I think it was around 700 players.
It looks awful.
Yeah, it's not good. Here you go. Let me show you my screen real quick. Okay, so we're gonna do this one. There you go. I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. But there you go.
The all-time peak has not even hit 700 players.
Oof.
Oh, that's not good, eh?
Can you pull up a second tab and look up Black Myth Wukong?
I got you. Black Myth.
So not.
Oh, I'm
even,
sure it's insane because people are like really flipping out about that game, in a good way.
Sony has spent, I don't remember how many millions of dollars. I saw a meme on Concord or like a graphic on Concord that said something like Sony has spent $230 something thousand per player to make Concord. Like that's how much it cost them per player because there's less than 700 people playing. Or we don't know the PS5 numbers, just the Steam numbers. But regardless, it's just weird. The numbers on Black Myth Wukong, however,
dude, that
yeah.
Did you see my face when I read that? I was like, what?
Yes. Yo. Yeah, no, that's a big difference.
I didn't know it was like that, bro.
This is one of the fastest selling games on Steam of all time. Almost 2.5 million in the first week. It might just be the first 4 days because I think it just came out Friday, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a fresh
I don't know.
release.
It's pretty new, but yeah.
Different genre though. I mean,
totally different games. Yeah, for sure. Totally different games. But this kind of game can have a lower number and still succeed. Concord is an online only game that needs players to survive. And it doesn't have them. I mean, I can't imagine with, just generally a couple of hundred people playing like there were right now. What was it right now? 200 and something players, wasn't it? Can you flip back over to it, Yugi?
I got you, my brother. So Concord
right now 235 players.
Right now. Yeah. Yeah, 235. Yep, that's correct.
That's not very many matches going on.
Yeah.
I would
long waiting times.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't look good for Concord. And what I hear is that it's not like it's the gameplay itself and the mechanics feel polished. And so I did a poll today. Where is it? Here it is. I did a poll this afternoon. It's gotten a few votes, not too crazy. But let me share my screen with you real quick here.
All right, let me put mine down.
To this poll, in your opinion, why is Concord failing? Is it boring characters, 5 years too late to the genre, it's not free to play, or all of the above? Or comment. Nobody's commented, so I'm assuming they mean all of the above. 60% say all of the above. This is a $40 game. Overwatch 2 is free. Is Valorant is free as well? Isn't that the case?
Yeah, as far as I know.
If this had come out 5 years ago, maybe it would have had a better chance. That was when hero shooters were really big. And also, I just keep hearing people talk about how boring the characters are. They're uninspired. They're not anything. Nobody's interested in them. So, yeah, there you are. It's like I can't pinpoint what it is, so I wanted to know what other people thought. But it seems like it's just all these things. Just nobody's interested.
I mean, they're not connected to any kind of famous IP. In the sense, it's not Marvel, it's not Star Wars, so the characters are completely new. Right. It's one of the reviewers was saying that I was watching, and it's competing against other hero shooters that are free, like you said. What gets me is I'm not sure. I mean, it's paid. You have to pay for the game upfront, like you said, $40. But now, why did Helldivers 2 do better? You know, it's a bit of a different type of a survivor co-op. So that's not, there are not very many of them around. Like I'm looking for a game like that at the moment. But so that might be the reason. But yeah, it's competing against a lot of other hero shooters that are way more polished. With characters that are very well known at this stage.
Right.
And you have to pay for it, which you don't have to for many of these hero shooters.
So I haven't played Helldivers 2. Yugi's played it. I assume like there hasn't really been anything exactly like Helldivers 2 before. Like it was kind of unique. I mean, not fully unique, but it was something a little bit more fresh. It was something a little bit new where you're fighting together to save the planet, right?
Yeah.
This is just looks like a very standard generic Concord. Looks like a generic 5v5 shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the difference. Yeah.
I think that is the difference.
Yeah. And plus like it's like that factor of co-op with just the right amount of challenge. Like you can jump into Helldivers and like actually sweat against the AI, and you can jump into Helldivers and like just have a good time with your friends, shoot some aliens, have epic moments, and then get off. You know, so it's. I think people are that 5v5 format, the PvP format. I don't know. I think people are kind of growing weary of it because, you know, the cheating, man. It's getting worse. Yeah.
I've only heard of this. I mean, people plug in controllers or something, hardware that actually enables aimbot. Am I right on that? I've only heard rumors of this type of thing. Like in Call of Duty and that type of thing. Yep. So there's like a hardware element to it that enables aimbot on it, so they don't have to. So
and now with the introduction of AI and visual recognition, now they've got this issue where they have these AIs that can mimic mouse movements. It's impossible to detect. That's what I'm saying. Like competitive shooters are cooked. They're cooked. Like there's no point in playing them because you don't know whether or not the person you're facing is either skilled or using AI. You just don't know. You don't know.
Is that why I keep losing in Fortnite?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm serious. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. It's absolutely cool. I'd rather play something co-op with a friend where we're having a good time and we can still have a challenge than play PvP. It's for me, I'm done with PvP. Like unless it's like I have to for a friend. It's just not happening.
Yeah. Man. So I want to also talk about Xbox. I want to talk about Xbox because Xbox just keeps, I feel like Xbox keeps taking a step forward in the right direction and then like 3 steps back the next day. And as a long time fan of Xbox, I'm glad that there are at least 3 companies in the gaming sphere that are competing against one another. You can make an argument that it's really just PlayStation and Xbox competing against like head to head, and then Nintendo's over here doing its own thing, but they are all in some way competing for the same
audience.
Yeah, the same audience. And Xbox keeps making these, I don't know, decisions that I'm just like, what are you thinking? And then they'll do something really good, and I'm like at Summer Games Fest, they had the best presentation of Summer Games Fest, in my opinion. Just trailer after trailer of games that was like, okay, I can get excited about that. I mean, we had Doom: The Dark Ages, we had the Perfect Dark game, we had Oh, well, now I'm drawing a blank. What was that? Can't remember. There was a whole bunch of them though. The Construct agrees with you about
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
about PvP.
It's like that's what I'm saying. Like, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a good friend of
Gears,
mine.
yes.
Gears. Yep. There you go.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep rambling, so let me stop. Go ahead, Bo.
No, go ahead. You can go ahead. What's your
I'm
story?
just, no, I was just gonna say, like, I got a good friend who's about to go to boot camp for the army. So he's like, hey man, like before I leave, I want to play COD with you. And I'm like, all right, well, now I'm guilt tripped to playing PvP games. But if it wasn't for that, like I'm telling you, like there's no way I would go anywhere near PvP games because it's just 100% Construct gets it.
Yeah. How do you think that's affecting? I'm trying to think of I'm thinking of like Splatoon on the Switch. I don't.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't know if there's people cheating in that game like they would be in Gears. I'm not Gears. COD or Fortnite or something like that.
Yeah. I think that hardware is too unique. It would take a lot of work, but what I'm thinking of is like if you're like a streamer and you don't show your face and you just want to be like the best in the world, maybe that's the concern, because now there's a career incentive to do it. You know what I mean? So if you're just like not showing your face, but you're the best in the world and you have a stream and people donate,
right?
You know what I mean? Cha-ching. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be honest, these people always get exposed some way or somehow, but how advanced things are getting, it's going to be tough. I don't know what the heck they're going to do, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Well, that's honestly something I haven't given much thought to.
Oh man. If you look up I think Score Esports covered it. It's like if you look up like AI mouse aiming or something like that, it'll be the first video, and you're gonna it's either gonna really upset you or just fascinate you. To me, it just upset me. It's like
the tech side of it will fascinate me, but
the
ethics side of it will infuriate me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay. So Xbox, they bought all these companies, all these developers, and they're making all these games. And they show up at Gamescom last week, and they're like, "Hey, here's a new gameplay trailer for Indiana Jones." And they show it, and they're like, "It's coming December 9th of this year." Everybody's like, yeah, all right, it's coming to Xbox and PC same day. I'm fine with that. And then they say, but there's one more thing. And then they change the slide and it fades in, coming to PS5 spring of 2025. And on the one hand, I get it. There's a lot more PS5s that have been sold, and there's a whole other audience there for them to make back some of this money that they've spent making the game. But then on the other hand, I'm like, but you spent all this money to have an exclusive game on your platform, and you're going to give it away to another platform probably like 5 months later. My guess is it will be out by April of 2025. So December to April, 5 months. It's going to be out on their competitor's platform. So instead of having a game that could actually help sell consoles, you're going to just say, I just got a PS5, just wait 5 months and we'll give it to you over there. And I don't get that, because my I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I feel like exclusives are so essential, so vital for the longevity and the health of the gaming industry. If everything's on everything, then there are no real competitors. And if there's no real competition, then nobody has an incentive to strive to do better, to do more, to push to the next thing, to advance the industry.
Yeah.
And if nobody has an incentive to do that and they don't do that, then where does that leave us in 5 to 10 years? And so if Xbox is PlayStation's main competitor, we need Xbox to step up to the plate, because PlayStation has become just kind of a little bit apathetic, honestly, this generation. It still feels like this generation hasn't started yet, and we're 4 years into it. Does anybody else feel like that?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm not a big console gamer, but I mean, if you think of Concord now, releasing that, and it's not doing that well, so it kind of seems like they're not really trying. But I mean, I guess the competition would be the IP, whether or not the IP is actually good or not. Is Xbox is getting out of the console game, aren't they? Or did I miss that, or did I miss?
Okay,
misheard
they say they're not. See, this is the thing, is their messaging is so bad right now, because they keep saying we're not getting out of the console industry, but then they keep putting their games over on PlayStation and Switch. And so at first it was just like, we're just going to do 4 games. I mean, this was just not even 6 months ago. We're just going to put these 4 games over here on the PlayStation and the Switch.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to do. We're just going to see how it goes. These are all older games. They've run their life cycle on Xbox. It's time for them to find new audiences. But now you're talking about a major IP. Indiana Jones is a major IP. And and you're talking about building it, that they have they've footed the bill for this game, and now they're just going to hand it over to their competitor. And they're still going to make money from the sale of the game, right? So I guess I don't really know what my question is. You got any thoughts?
It's an interesting conundrum. I mean, like you said, it'll be a bad thing if there's no competition, but it's the way the industry is kind of going. It seems that they need more audiences to pay for these major IP games, because of the amount they're spending on it.
Can we talk about that right there? Can we talk about that right there? Okay, so this is part of the problem, is that they have crept closer and closer to like Hollywood level budgets on each game, right? We're talking about spending multiple hundreds of millions of dollars on each game. So if I decided tomorrow, all right, and what they keep saying is, well, we need more money. We need to make more money to pay for this game that we just made. Now, if I walked out tomorrow and went and bought a boat and a Tesla and a gold Rolex, I don't know, I would come home and say, well, I guess I need to make more money to pay for this stuff. Or I could stick with my reasonable and manageable budget and not have to make more money. And I think this is part of the problem, right? They're like not paying attention to their budget. They're trying to pull money out of thin air by making stuff live service, or having all these microtransactions, or making multiple DLCs or episodes or whatever that they can sell after the fact, or charging or going like right now. Ubisoft they don't want you to buy. I think one of the reasons that they are charging so much for Star Wars Outlaws is because they don't want you to buy it. They want you to subscribe to Ubisoft Plus. Because it's $18 a month, and then you get the game with your $18 a month. But they hope that you'll just stick with it.
Yeah, you forget that your credit card's on it and just let it run.
Yeah.
I
think it's a trap. I think it's a trap to get people to go and subscribe to them. I really do.
Yeah, that's a possibility, eh? Sorry, you can go, Yugi.
No. I was just gonna say. I was gonna say stupid joke. Speaking of Star Wars, it's a trap. Like that's what it is. Yeah, go
ahead. Yeah, quite correct. Eh?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it kind of feels. I had a thought about that when I was thinking about the whole aspect of the kind of death of exclusives. You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, that's the one thing I've had a problem with. I come from a retail background, working in the retail industry, tech industry, and it's driven by this love of money, basically. Eh? You just got to have more. There's constantly got to have more. It's the most important thing. The whole industry revolves around it. And I get it. You can't have a business that doesn't make money, but it feels like it's unbalanced. Like that's the whole focus point and the whole driving point behind all of it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a component in this area. You always got to have more. You know, it's the stakeholders, the shareholders are driving for better results, and everybody's got to perform better constantly. It comes to a point where it's not helpful anymore at times, where then it's you're doing stuff for that reason, and then you don't get the quality necessarily, or you don't consider your audience or the people that work for you, you know. So
so I guess this is the way I kind of see it, Yako, and is that the whole industry is changing. It doesn't matter if you're Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation. They're all evolving. It's been pretty interesting the last couple of years, and I think it will continue to be interesting for the next 5 to 10 years, because Nintendo has taken a new approach, right? They are trying to become more of an entertainment company than just a video game company. They've made partnerships with Lego for Super Mario Lego sets, and they've started theme parks, right, with Universal, and they've gotten into the movies with Mario. That was a huge win for them, and there's more on the way. They just announced their Nintendo Museum. So there's all these different. They're putting their fingers in all these different areas of entertainment, right? And that's kind of where they're going. It's not just we're not just gonna make games. I'm sure they'll still make games, but they're also gonna make toys, and they're also going to make theme parks and movies and other forms of entertainment. PlayStation has been slowly creeping, I think, towards day and date game releases of console exclusives, but also on PC. They're not quite there yet, but I think that they are slowly getting there. It would not surprise me in the next 2 to 3 years if they launched their own PC launcher and took their games off of Steam and started selling games themselves on their own digital storefront on PC. That would not surprise me in the least. I think that's what they want to do. They want to keep all that pie for themselves. Xbox doesn't seem to know what it wants, or this is a move of desperation. So this is where I see Xbox being right now, is that they came into this generation saying, hey, we've got the most powerful console on the market. It's going to play games better than anybody else. Come by, and we have Game Pass. And I think they put all their eggs in Game Pass, thinking, oh, people are going to love this. Now, I think Game Pass is really cool. I'm not going to lie. But it's not for everybody. And you do have to have a really good internet connection for it to work properly. I've tried to play, like, they have Fortnite on Game Pass, but you're playing an online competitive shooter over the cloud. Like, it's okay, but it's not super great, especially when you're up against Yuki's aimbots over there. Yuki, you're muted again, man. But I know you don't use those things.
Oh my goodness, man! I'm failing right now. I was gonna say, yeah, that's the day I enter my villain arc and submit to the idea of aimbot. I'm just tired of it all.
Oh man.
No.
Yeah, he did. He typed LOL with a straight face. Let's see. Where was I? They don't seem to know what they want, Xbox. Xbox seems to be in this spot where they thought they could turn it around this generation, but it didn't happen. and I think it's because of a lot of. I think it's because, one, lack of exclusives. Two, Halo Infinite did not do well for them, which is super unfortunate. They should have. They should have made sure that game was good. And I played through that game, and the first half of it and the second half of it are two different games, and it's super weird. The second half is classic Halo. The first half is something new. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it was just a weird game to play through, and not a lot of reason to go back to it afterwards, in my opinion. So they should have done better with that. You can only pay for Game Pass stuff for so long. Like, you can't just keep paying people to put their game on Game Pass and expect people to keep buying Game Pass. That's only going to work temporarily. You have to be making good, unique, exclusive content, and they're not. And so they're in this spot where all of a sudden they're so far behind, they've got to catch up. They've spent billions of dollars. Let's not forget that their acquisition of Bethesda was like $3 billion or something, and then when they did Activision, they spent, what was it, $60 billion, $70 billion, something like that.
Yeah.
Was it 70 billion? It was something ridiculous that they spent on Activision. And what's up, Jason?
My man.
How's it?
Construct in the building. What's good, man?
Yeah.
They've got to make some money. They got to make some money, because you can't spend $70 billion and not make any money.
Yeah.
And so I think this is where they are. I think where they are is let's just think about Microsoft. Forget Xbox. Think about Microsoft for a second. Microsoft is not a hardware company. They are a software company. They make Office, Microsoft Office, and they make Windows. That's Microsoft. And so when they have a division of their, and Windows obviously has done them really well. They've made so much money just selling Windows and Microsoft Office. So when your hardware division, Xbox, is in trouble, what do you think the higher up people are going to do? They're probably going to say, hey, you need to focus on software sales. Well, how do you do that? If you don't have the hardware to sell it to or sell it on, you've got to find other hardware to sell it on. And who's that? It's PlayStation, it's Switch, it's PC. And so I think that's where Xbox is right now, is that they have to sell this. They have to sell software to make some of this money back that they've spent. And the only way to do it is to start putting their games on other platforms, because there's nowhere else for it to go, because they failed in their marketing of the Xbox itself.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
No, that makes sense. I mean, it's what I've been reading as well. Is it's interesting how these companies like Nintendo are moving to put their IPs on, on TV or on mobile. Like there's the Mario Run game, something like that.
Yeah.
I've never played it before. So, I mean, it's a massive untapped market for them. So it's got to be very tempting. And if you're in a situation like that where you need to make money, then you're gonna have to get it onto more platforms for more audiences. But sad on the hardware side, because like you said, it's gonna kill competition. Then you have one clear Nintendo or Sony with an upper hand, with what do they call it, corner on the market. Not going to be good for us.
Right. I mean, that's the other thing, is that no competition is only going to drive prices up, and there's that's another negative of all of this. I would also say I also question. So they have said that they are going to make another console, and that the next console is going to be the most advanced console. Whatever, it's going to be a huge leap forward for them. What does that mean? I have no idea. But they've already kind of promised it. Sarah Bond, the CEO of Xbox, has said, "This is coming. We're working on it. It's going to be the biggest leap forward ever for us." So, so something's coming down the pipeline for them. My question then becomes, if they are making another console, well, what's the point? If you're not going to support it with software, what's the point of making the hardware? But if you are going to make the hardware, then are they planning to, for the rest of this generation, sell their software other places and then shift back to exclusives in 3 years whenever they launch their next console? Could we see that happen? Or are they going to get a taste of that money from all the other places and be like, we can't leave that on the table. That's too easy. And want to keep it on both places. In which case I say you're probably cannibalizing your own hardware sales. I think that they have dug themselves into a hole here that I don't know if they can get out of.
Yeah, true. That's what I'm saying. I think the most logical route would just be, just go full PC, man. You know what I mean? Make some sort of interconnectivity between the two. Yeah. Just stick to PC, man. I think it works. I think it's fine. I like the PC Game Pass. And just kind of, let it rock. Because I don't know anybody who's a PC gamer that doesn't have Game Pass, who isn't like okay with it, because they like the new releases coming out where they don't have to pay 60 70 bones just to play a new game.
Yeah.
Seems to be the play.
So can I I'll chime in on this, Bo.
Yeah,
go for it, my man.
Sorry, my audio is really wacky, but I wanted to hop in because you guys were talking about this. The crazy thing about Xbox is they made a bet, and I missed some of that while I was trying to get on. So I don't know if you covered this part, but they made a bet on actually abandoning hardware, right? They said, well, we can become the digital distributor of games. And it sounds good. I mean, you look at a business model like Netflix or Amazon, and you say, well, we don't have to be in one particular place. We can just distribute games and be everywhere, right?
Yeah.
The problem that I see with it is that we're not ready as a community of gamers. We're not ready to let go of the exclusivity of having a piece of hardware actually tie you to a certain IP or a certain set of IPs from a particular distributor, right? We're not ready for that transition. We don't know what that feels like. We don't know what that looks like. We're not sure we even want it, but Xbox just jumped out there and just started going for it.
Yeah.
Kind of that Apple route, they removed the headphone jack first.
Yeah.
We can't decide if we are comfortable with it, because technically it would be nice to be able to play a game anywhere, right? But then you don't have the hardware itself to drive the exclusivity, to say, play it here because it's here. You lose that. So then they do the things like you mentioned. They start putting games on the Switch and they start spreading games all over the place because they're trying to make this model work. They're trying to make fetch happen, if anyone gets that reference.
Well, if you go to at least a few weeks ago, this was like this. If you go to the top selling PlayStation games right now, most of them are Xbox published games, which is so bizarre.
Yeah.
And I would argue that not only are we not ready for it as a gaming culture, I don't think we have the infrastructure in place for Game Pass to exist like it does right now, if that makes sense. I don't think there's internet structure is just not that good, and it's not the same everywhere you go. Like it's so different. You can be just one town over, and it might be completely. It can be one neighborhood over. I have friends here where I live that they live in like a nice neighborhood, and their internet is terrible. And I live,
or you live in South Africa.
Yeah, there's different. It's different everywhere you go, and so I just don't know that the infrastructure to support a full swing into a Game Pass type business model is there.
That's what I was thinking about as well. I mean, for it to be available on mobile devices, that's a massive market, but it's just it wouldn't play well. I mean. And you're not gonna on-screen controls just aren't great. You're not necessarily gonna carry a controller with you wherever you go. Yeah. So that's kind of a barrier to that. You're gonna have to overcome that. The infrastructure is gonna have to be good enough to have lossless streaming, especially if you're playing fighters or shooters.
Yeah.
So that isn't there yet completely.
So I just reviewed this on the channel, and this thing is awesome. I love playing with this. I'm not going to carry this around with me to other places. I can't fit this in my pocket. This thing is huge. But in my house, I'll play this in my house. Yeah, I'll put my phone in here and play this because it works pretty well. But once you get out and about and you have maybe public Wi-Fi or a bad cell connection, a bad data connection on your phone, you can't play those things anymore. Whether you have a controller or not, it's just, I don't know. There's no like good solution, I feel like, to this problem, and I'm just afraid Xbox is gonna. I don't know. I'm afraid that they're not gonna make it. I guess that's what I'm afraid of. But they can't figure this out.
If they're releasing a AAA title on like Indiana Jones on Sony, they've got to have numbers behind that. I'm pretty sure some of the previous releases they've done have done well, and now they're going to try it with the next step with a bigger title.
Yeah. How weird is it going to be though if Halo comes to PlayStation?
Yeah,
I think that
I'm a PC gamer, so it's kind of in my to my benefit if it becomes available more everywhere. But I can get being tied to, being connected to a console. Very nostalgic about it. I felt that way about the NES, the Famicom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what it boils down to though is like you're saying, Jaco, the emotional connection has to remain. I mean, we started off with games that were built by like a small group of people who were really passionate about what they were making, and we connected with that, and we held it dear, right? And to go into a model where it's just like play anything everywhere all at the same time, you have 1,000 games available to you. I mean, look at something like Netflix, right? You probably watched like one show on Netflix, and then like there's this legion of other movies that you don't even look at. You just don't care, right? So I think that's the problem that they need to solve. They have to figure out some way to solve that. Yeah. They have to make the customer care. Just having the scale isn't enough, right?
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And I tell you what, sometimes I look through there and I'm like, oh, that game would be fun. Let's try that one. And then I try it one night and I play a little bit of it. And then the next night I might be like, that was pretty fun, but do I want to finish it, or do I want to see if there's an even better option out there? And then you start looking through the list again. And so you don't ever actually finish anything because you have too many options. And that's not great either.
It's too easy to switch. Like, growing up, like the NES, I played Mario like 1,000 times because I couldn't play anything else. It was the only cartridge I had. Right. I'll share this funny horror story. So back in the 80s, everything was, plugged into like one outlet in your room, right? And for some reason, I accidentally plugged my NES into the outlet that was also attached to the light switch. And back then, parents were like neurotic about, lights being on and using too much electricity. So my dad like walks past my room. He sees that I'm gaming. The light is on. And he thinks, well, the kid doesn't need the light on while he's playing the video game, And he reaches in and he swipes the light switch off. And I just hear static and my heart just shatters into a million pieces. I think I was like halfway through like the first the NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had beaten the water board on that.
Really hard.
I had gotten past that, and he turned off the NES. Oh
my goodness!
Oh my
no
gosh,
saves, no saves.
It's the worst.
That literally probably represents days of your life.
Yeah,
gamers days of your life.
Getting that far into that game.
Yeah.
And all the multiple start overs that you had to do to get to that point.
I had paused that night. I had paused the game and ate dinner and came back.
Yeah,
that happened. So.
Man.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be like that.
Man. Well, those are just, I don't know, some quick thoughts. I get quick thoughts. We've been talking about that for a while, about exclusives, and that's how I feel about it. And I hope they come back. I did I show the second poll? I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
Did I? I did a poll a few months ago. I'll just show it real quick about exclusives, and just asked. I said this. I said for the gaming industry to maintain healthy growth, I think console exclusive games are essential, are traditional but unnecessary, need to go the way of the dinosaur or other. Leave a comment. And 53% agreed with me that they're essential. I can't vote on my own polls, but that's what I would have voted is essential for healthy growth in the industry. This middle one about they're traditional but unnecessary, I feel like it's kind of like I don't really care either way. That's kind of an I don't care either way statement, right? Like they're cool with me, but we don't really need them, but whatever. And then the last one is kind of like, yeah, get rid of them. Just give me everything on whatever I have. But if you add those two together, you get 47%, which basically splits the vote. I mean, almost perfectly down the middle, 53 and 47 of people who think this is essential, and people are like, it's not really necessary. Just put them wherever, which I think is really interesting. I wish I had age demographics on who voted in that poll, because I think that would be interesting to see.
I mean, from a PC gamer's viewpoint, it would be very difficult for me to get a console. I mean, I do own a Wii, so I haven't had a console in quite a while. So, but it's just easier to upgrade.
Yeah,
a little less expensive to upgrade instead of buying a whole new generation with a console. So I think there are a lot of people who feel like that, So in that sense,
I agree. This whole thing has made me kind of lean towards, hey, maybe I just need to go full PC. But I think that the thing that people hesitate with PC is when you get a game on PC, what's the first thing you do? You go to the settings and you try to optimize everything so it runs perfectly on your device. I think there's a lot of people, they come home from work at night and they don't want to deal with any of that. And they also don't want to continue to sit at a computer because they did that all day. They want to go sit on the couch and just start a game and know that it's going to work fine on their console.
Yeah. I'm a console player that went PC. And the reason I did, and I took care of that issue too, Bo. Like I got a wireless controller, had a PC next to the TV in the living room. Like I tried to make it as console feeling as possible.
Yeah.
But the reason I went to PC was because me and my buddies were, we were living through the original Xbox to the Xbox 360 and all the promises, the PR promises of 60 frames and, 1080 and jumping up to 4K, all those promises that kept being made, but they kept falling short.
Right.
And it's like, just get a PC. It's already doing 60 frames. It's already doing 4K. It's already doing 120 frames in some cases, right? It's there already. So we just got tired of waiting for the tech to catch up. And I think it was Battlefield. I think I showed one of my buddies Battlefield in comparison to Xbox One to PC, and it was just night and day. So
Yeah.
But it isn't plug and play. That's the one thing. That's the big reason for a lot of these handheld consoles as well. Instead of connecting a controller to your phone, because it's quicker, it's more convenient. So I think there's a lot of people that want that kind of just pick it up and play type of situation, where PC you have to deal with Windows, you have to deal with drivers,
Right.
all the setup related to that. It's not very portable in most cases.
Yeah. I thought about this today too. I think this is one reason why the Steam Deck has done so well, is because the Steam Deck is really the consoleization of a portable PC.
Yeah.
It's PC gaming, but it's the most console-like experience that you can get in PC gaming. And I think that's one reason for its success. One reason. Yeah. So yeah, exclusives. We always try to talk about faith on this and kind of the conjunction of faith and gaming. And I was thinking about exclusives and, how some people are like, yeah, we need this. And some people are like, no, we don't. Just, like we just looked at that poll. And it really kind of made me have to pause and think about Jesus for a second, because Jesus, Jesus says things like this. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. That's pretty exclusive.
That's right.
That's a pretty exclusive statement.
Right.
A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like exclusive statements. And I was thinking about that statement. And I was thinking about, well, there's more than that one. I'll show you another one. But I was thinking about that statement and how we it's probably the most inclusive of all exclusive statements that he would say that. Because he might be saying that I'm the only way, but he's also not saying you have to live in South Africa in order to go through me, right?
Exactly.
He's not saying you have to be white or black or rich or poor or anything. Like, he wants everybody, right? Acts 4:12 says, and there is salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven that has been given among men by which we must be saved. That's an exclusive statement. I have one more here I wanted to show. But exclusive is not bad. And I think we're starting to find ourselves in a society that thinks exclusivity is bad. Even in relationships, exclusivity is seen as old-fashioned, right?
Yeah.
And no, it can bring stability. It can bring all kinds of really great things. It also says this in 1 Timothy 2:5. Well, actually, starting in 2:3 even, this is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior, who desires all men to be saved. That would include women and children too. That's a universal type of a statement there.
That's right.
To be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth. For there is one God and one mediator also between God and men, the man Christ Jesus. He's the only way. And that's not just okay. That is good. He has made it that simple. It's so simple.
That's right.
There's one way, and it's through him. Exclusive, but not an exclusive statement that doesn't exclude anyone.
No.
It's your choice.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyone can take it through their faith. It's exciting me because I was just studying on this topic, because there's a lot of people who believe that it's exclusive to an institution or some sort of organization, or that, you know, you have to do this, and that. It's like, no, Christianity is one of the most accessible, if not the most accessible religion you could ever ask for. You know, that's why it says anyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. That's all you need, man. Praise God for that, right? He made it super easy. It doesn't matter where you come from, educated, uneducated, rich, poor, like you just said, you know, man, women, children, it does not matter. It's exclusive in the sense that Christ took on the price. Amen. He's the final authority. But to say that it is inaccessible, that's probably the word you were looking for.
Yeah.
Far from it. Far from it.
Right.
It doesn't matter where you are. Yeah.
Right. You don't have to, you know, spend years of your life studying or, you know, cleaning yourself up or meditating in a monastery somewhere and then finally be able to receive it. Or, you know, you don't have to be someone who gives 5 years of their life, like I don't know, serving like with the Peace Corps or something, you know, like you just receive the gift. You say, God, I'm lost, rescue me.
Amen. Amen.
Like, and he's faithful, you know.
It's a very interesting aspect to me as well. What I've found is that even in the church, even those of us who are saved, among Christians, a lot of people that they say they believe that, but they don't really believe that, you know. So I am saved, Jesus. I believe in Jesus, so I am saved. But I got to work now. I've got to earn my salvation. I've got to earn. Whereas the Bible speaks the exact opposite. You know, Paul says, "Count yourself dead indeed to sin." You know, a lot of people read that statement and they think I've got to work to cleanse myself, to get myself better. But it's not what he's saying. He's saying don't focus on sin. Don't focus on that old part of yourself. You're a new creation. 2 Corinthians 5:17.
Amen.
So you're in Christ now. So think of yourself as dead. You know? You're alive with Christ now.
Amen.
Well said. Well said.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of people do feel that way. Like you know, like Jesus was powerful enough to save me from my past sin, but I have to work to clean up my present and future sin. Or make, you know, and that's not what he says. No, it's all of it. He cleans up all of it. And I mean, does that mean that it does mean that you might need to surrender some things, give up some things, and allow God to change you? Yeah. And that might be hard. Some of that stuff might be hard because it is, you know, like when you have the Bible talks about pruning, right? Talks about pruning like the dead branches off of a plant, off of something that would bear fruit, and you do that so that it will bear even more fruit, not to kill it further, but you cut away all the dead stuff. And that might be painful when he does that in our life in some way, but it's so that we can produce even more life and more nourishment for ourselves and for the people around us, and become even better people. And so yeah. But it all has to start with him.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to a preacher called Dan Mohler quite a bit, and what he says a lot is that it's, you know, you see those things as painful being cut off, but it wasn't the true you anyway. It wasn't it's not the best way to live anyway.
Right.
Living for self, because there's always death in that. There's always suffering. It ends up in suffering when the focus is self, me, myself, and I. It never goes to a good place. That's the reason we have all of the suffering and pain in the world, as it started with what I want above all else. That's what the devil did. That's what happened in the Garden of Eden, and it's a big cause of why we are where we are. It's that people put themselves above everything else and above everyone else. It's not the best way to live. And Jesus, with him, there's a lot of opposites like that. It's better to give than to receive, for example, Not a logical statement, but man, there's joy in giving. There's a lot of joy in giving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to read through some of these comments here.
Yeah,
I just read so slow, you guys. Jesus requires his final authority as a demand for a reason. He's the fulfillment of the prophecy. Anything after him would place more salvation in the promise of man instead of Jesus.
Amen.
Man is not stronger than Jesus. Only way to the Father is through the Son. Amen.
Agreed.
Yeah. Here's a verse. Yeah. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that word, by the renewing, I believe is a verb that is, it's a passive verb in Greek, which means it is you aren't the initiator of the action, but you are being acted upon. And so you're being, like Jesus himself will transform you and he will renew your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. But you have to be willing to surrender to that and allow him to change you in that way. And some of that comes through, studying the word and spending time in prayer and spending time fellowshipping with other believers, sharing what God's doing in your life, testifying to that. And I think that's something that we sorely lack, is just sharing stories of God's goodness, of his grace, of his blessing, and of how he's changing us even in that pruning season of life. What is he doing right now to prune you, to make you better, to bear more fruit? Sometimes we don't like to talk about those stories, but we need to, because I think it encourages all of us it increases our faith, because it shows us that God really is, like, he's present and active, and he's working to make all things new.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, for me personally, I've been through some stuff in my life as well, and I think a lot of times people put a big focus on that. God caused the storm for a reason, But when you've got a kid, you're not necessarily inflicting the challenges of life upon them. Yeah. Life happens. Yeah, me too. Life happens, but then God is there to bring the good out of it. David says he turns darkness into light. So God is still teaching me about this stuff, but I feel like some people worship the storm. This thing, it's been in the right books.
This brother's cooking, yo.
About how God does this, and this is so good for you, and all these things, but it's not necessarily God. It's life that happened, but God will bring good out of it. Yes, he'll take that bad and he'll turn it into something good. Yes, so yes, you can develop and learn. Don't give up. That's true, but it's not necessarily God that's hitting you with that storm that you're in at the moment.
Right. Yeah. Man, that's so good. That's so good, Jaco.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't always happen. You've got John 15 where it speaks of the pruning. So I feel like God's involved in that process. I think sometimes we put a wrong focus on it. But yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that there's obviously a lot of other religions out there, and all of them claim to be a way to peace or tranquility or to heaven or whatever it is that they promote. And I've never like been a practicing person of any other religion except for Christianity, but I have studied some other ones just for my own edification, and I've been to some other places of worship. I've prayed and meditated at a mosque. I have prayed and meditated and observed at a Hindu temple and at a Buddhist monastery, and I've seen some other things and been exposed to some other ways, but none of those other things really. They're all, you have to do it. All of them. They're all, you have to do the work. You have to figure it out. You've got to fight your way to the end and hope that maybe you might make it.
Yeah.
And Jesus, in a very exclusive statement, says, no, you don't.
Yep.
I'm the way. I'm the truth. I'm the life. You want to get to the Father? Just come through me. It's an invitation. It's not even like a threat, like he's some kind of bodyguard. It's like a bouncer guarding the door of the club. No, it's an invitation to, hey, you come through me and I'll let you in. But you've got to trust me to do that. And I'll do the work.
That's the one thing. I don't get why people say that God sends people to hell. If I have a party, I invite you. You choose not to come. Why do you want to blame the person inviting?
Yeah. Right.
It's maybe a harsh statement, but I don't get that. I don't get why people blame or say God sends people to hell.
Yeah, I don't get that either. Yeah. Well, that was a good talk, gentlemen.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it a lot. Thought that would go well with our talk of exclusivity on gaming. That's where my mind went today anyway when I was thinking about all this stuff. I did want to talk about one other thing, and it is actually an exclusive, and you guys I think can appreciate it. Well, maybe not Yugi. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
What I do? What I do?
But
being singled out, man.
Jason, I will want your opinion on this for sure. Because I want to look at the MetaQuest 3 exclusive Batman Arkham Shadow.
That looks so good, eh?
Good trailer makers there.
Yako?
Oh man, I'm so jealous. I really want the MetaQuest to be able to play that game. Oh, it looks so awesome. Just being able to experience that in person and like be Batman. Oh man. Oh jeez. I'm so jealous of you guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
I want to pull up the official gameplay trailer. It came out last week at Gamescom, and look at this together real quick. And I'm gonna actually let me turn the background music down so we can listen to this as it's playing. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This rat cult spreads through Gotham like a plague. I have to stop it, even if it consumes me.
The corrupt system has failed you. Are you not angry? Fight back! It's the freaking bat!
So you got the gliding.
Yeah.
He double kicked him in
Dodging.
the chest, and how did he still get up? That's the question.
Jim, this rat king could be
Bruh.
anywhere. A face in the crowd, a foot
You've got
soldier
the
in his own
detective
side of
elements.
So how in the hell do we find him?
Whoop.
Targets are all city employees, civil servants, public officials. You could have been more than a symbol. You could have been a god. Look out! You done calm down.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this looks
Someone's
fun.
scared to die.
Alfred, we tried it your way. Now we do it mine.
The stealth takedowns. The equipment drops.
We repress our rage, our fears.
Yeah, they
Keep
paid
the
attention
shadow
to detail
deep
in this
inside
one.
us.
Yeah.
Everything that's wrong with Gotham. I'm done holding back.
The shock gloves.
Awesome.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Looks
yeah.
epic.
I can bring the Rat King to you.
Honestly, I think the character models look pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. For this to be exclusive too, like on the Quest, like everybody's always worried about things running on the Quest not looking so great. I think they pushed it just far enough so it didn't look like terrible, and you could just get immersed into it. Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for this one. Another thing that, if you guys notice, like the fighting, some people might look at it and say it looks slow, but it's like, we're not like, we weren't trained by Ra's al Ghul, so we're not actually that good at like kung fu.
Yeah.
So it's good to have kind of like, hand-to-hand combat that you can actually digest, and it really makes you feel cool while you're in there. Like if you there's a kung fu game on Quest that makes you feel cool. I'm sure you look stupid in real life, but you feel cool, in the headset anyway.
Yeah. No, I think that from the short clips that we have of the fight mechanics, I think they did a really good job, because you see like the icon come up that says, "Hey, block." And I think what you do is you throw your arm up, and then I think it automatically dodges you out of the way.
Yeah.
And then you see the reticle show up on the bad guy, and when you punch, it just you punch, like you fly to the guy and punch him like you would in one of the Arkham games, right? Because he's like flying all across, taking dudes down.
Yeah.
But they had to figure out a way to do that in VR without making you throw up,
Right.
And
I think there still might be a little bit of that with all the gliding and whatnot.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I have a buddy who pretty much can't play his Quest because he's just too prone to motion sickness.
Yeah.
Like any motion where his feet, like where he's not moving his own feet.
Yeah.
He's gonna barf.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get a little bit motion sickness sometimes when I'm not moving my own feet, but I can usually play for at least 30 minutes before I'm like, maybe I should quit, before this gets any worse. But this looks like a lot of like the grappling hook stuff. Usually when I'm pulled to a place or teleport to a place or whatever, it doesn't make me sick. And that's what this looks like to me. I showed them the Vendetta Forever trailer, Jason, earlier at the beginning. Maybe you were watching, I don't know, but that didn't make me sick at all, because you're just like zipping to the locations, and then you're standing still, you're just looking around. Anyway, this looks really cool to me. I think the character models look great.
It looks clean. Like it looks very like the punches have impact. I think they had to nail that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm wondering
about
the haptic feedback, what you'll feel when that happens. I'm wondering how much it'll be.
Yeah, that's something I'm noticing, like especially with the last Batman movie, even though I'm kind of about it. Like I feel like they're giving Batman that impact, like that feeling, and obviously the games captured that already. But I do like the way it sounds and the way it looks. And yeah, I don't know, Batman in VR, like even though it sounds off, when you actually see it in action, I'm like, yeah, no, you're gonna actually be like a cool guy. Like you'll probably like take off the headset, then like go and like talk to your significant other, like, Like,
I'm Batman.
what you've been doing fighting crime in Gotham.
Right.
Like you'll somehow get like it'll like change your character, you know? You
Yeah.
go into church like with mascara on. Like, what's wrong with you, man?
Why are you standing in the shadows?
Why are you in the coldest part of the church? What's wrong with you, man? Yeah. But that's cool.
Yeah.
Though. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's-
so after you play it, like don't go up to the choir loft and try to like, you know, perch on top of the edge and look down.
You
So
don't have
do
a
that.
cape. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
sign here? You just draw a bat signal. Like I said, your signature, man.
Yeah. But I am excited though. Like even the detective parts, like, you know, and you guys have heard me talk about how much like flat versus VR, like how exciting it is. Like when you're investigating a scene, instead of just kind of like moving, you know, a camera around with like you would in flat, like, you know, you might have to actually look around or look under a table, physically look under a table, you know, to find a clue. You're not just kind of like moving a camera around and like tapping X until something pops up, you know. And it adds a gameplay element that's pretty cool.
Reach down and grab something and pick it up and turn it over in your hand, you know, and like look at it, like to see what's on the back of it or whatever. Like it's very different. I'm excited about it because I think there's some cool stuff they could do with, especially those detective elements there. I want to see more about the stealth parts of the game because I think that the fight sequences look like they're going to be really good. I wonder how that stealth part's going to feel. We saw one of those takedowns, but I can't imagine all of these they have to be like, you know, pre-animated. Like you're not really going to, you know, put somebody in a chokehold, are you? Like, you know,
right. Well, I mean, they're
maybe
pre-animated in Assassin's Creed, so it's probably going to play kind of like that, where, you know, once you get up to them, you know, it's either an animation or it's a pretty quick takedown, you know. So
yeah,
but it's actually kind of neat though when you're playing and having to like make sure that like your head doesn't pop out or they'll see you. So I'm sure again, I'm looking like ridiculous in my living room, like, you know, doing that.
Yeah, right.
Over and over
again. Peek around the corner, yeah.
Yeah, you can peek around the corner, and you know, if your head's showing, they can see you. If you step back, you know, it's pretty fun.
I can appreciate that though, because I feel like this is definitely a game you're gonna get a workout out of. But I don't know why. Like I actually appreciate that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Cool.
Gets you out of the couch type beat. I think that's fine. Like,
a lot of gamers need that.
That's what I'm saying, brother. Like, bro, I'm trying, man. You know what I mean?
I need it.
I need it.
Real.
I need it.
But think about it, like you don't even got to think about it anymore. Like, oh, I got to go to the gym. Nah, I've got to throw on the Quest. You know like, that's a W.
Plus all around it.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was playing that Vendetta Forever demo, and I was like doing squats and stuff, trying to dodge bullets.
Bro.
And I was like, man, I'm feeling this. I was working up a sweat. I was like, I need to play this every day.
Yeah.
You guys ever played laser tag?
Yes.
You go into arena. Yes. That's a workout. Just having to crouch and come up and all those movements. It's a big workout.
Yeah. So this looks really cool to me. Yeah. I think you do have to like grab your cape and put your arms out when you glide. I think I watched an interview where the developer said you had to do that.
Dude, man, I so want that. I so want that.
There's another game that you guys should look up. It's actually, I think it became free on Quest Plus, but it's called Until You Fall. It's basically a sword fighting game.
It is on Quest Plus, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Like they figured out how to make sword fighting not just hack the person, you know, until they fall down. There's a mixture of like blocking, you know, breaking down armor layers, and you know, striking in different ways to actually fight the enemies. It's pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I played about, I don't know, 45 minutes of it or so one night to try it out. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a short, small game. Like there's not a whole lot going on. You can tell it was early VR, but the sword play is impressive. They really did what they needed to do on that.
So this Batman Arkham Shadow is supposed to be 8 to 10 hours long, like an actual legit single player campaign. And the developers have said it's going to be more like the original Arkham Asylum, which is kind of more dungeony. So you got like one central area that's kind of open, but then you'll go into dungeons around in that game and play through those, and then you'll be back out in the central area. And so that's kind of the way they've set this up. But I think it looks awesome. It's definitely a day one purchase for me. In fact, I'm waiting to see what the price is going to be before I buy any other VR content, because I want to make sure that I can get this game. Yeah.
Coming in October, eh?
In October, yeah. And you know what? They didn't even announce this until the spring. Do you remember when they announced it, Jason?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I think it was spring.
It was spring. I don't think it was summer yet, but it was like late spring sometime, and now it's out in October. We didn't need to announce it 3 or 4 years early and make everybody wait. It's just here it is, and I think it looks great. And I think it's going to sell.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I think it's going to sell Quest 3s. I think it's going to sell some consoles for them.
For sure.
Going back to the exclusivity thing, I've already heard a few different YouTubers say, I don't have a Quest 3, but I'm getting one. I'm getting one to play this. So, I think other people are going to feel the same. So exclusive sell. We see Nintendo prove that over and over again. Exclusive sell hardware. So it's ridiculous for Phil Spencer to suggest otherwise. Sorry. Not to go back to the beginning. What were you going to say?
Well, I was gonna. It's still along the same lines. Like if you look at something like the Batman game or some of the Quest titles and some decent Quest titles coming out, and what Nintendo's doing, they're not spending a budget on making sure water has 50,000 different polys and different ripples and light. I feel like the issue is that they're burning a lot of budget on just like graphics and. And things like that. And it's taking the games way too long to come out. And then they have to, like you mentioned earlier, have to make that money back somehow. So then they hit you with microtransactions, So, just make fun games. It's okay if they're small. And, if they're fun, we'll still play it.
And we'll replay it.
Yeah.
And then we might play it a third time, if they're fun. Yeah. Just make fun stuff to play. And so a couple other things about this, and I'll close it up. But, just watching that short trailer, I'm like, they really did their homework. They really studied this franchise, made sure that they've got a lot of the returning voice cast from previous games. It's set in the same universe in a way where it actually fits in there, unlike another recent game that came out this year that I'm not going to talk about. And they really, when you hear the guy who's in charge of the development, when you hear him talk about the game, you can just hear the love for the franchise in his voice. And
that's good.
It's very exciting to me. So I just can't wait. I think it just looks so good. So
awesome, man.
Well, thank you guys for being on tonight. This was really fun. Let's go around, maybe tell everybody where to find you and what you're working on. Who wants? Jason, you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. At the construct _VR on YouTube. I haven't broken out into the other socials yet, but I just started covering gaming on the channel with a gaming accessory.
I saw that.
Haptic guns go.
Yeah, I cover VR content and mixed reality content. So it's a lot of fun. I am working on testing some games now to bring that into the channel. So Zero Caliber 2 is one that I'm testing.
Yeah, that one looked interesting to me.
Yeah,
it's on the wish list. We'll see.
Cool.
Yako?
Yeah, so on YouTube, the tech update, mostly covering hardware at this stage, handheld gaming consoles. Love comparing those, a lot of comparisons. Looking to do a few more comparisons, find the interesting comparison. Also, just recently hit 500 subs, so I want to celebrate that. Thinking of doing a kind of a gaming quiz, maybe giving away $5 for Steam voucher or something. Just kind of figuring out the how-tos on that. But yeah, just have like a little quiz, and you can post your answers. That'll be upcoming hopefully within the next 2 weeks or so. But yeah, other than that, any kind of quick reviews you want to see about a device or comparisons on devices, handheld gaming devices, retro devices, you can check up the tech update. And also I'm on X, also the tech update there, and on TikTok, the tech update, just shorts.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And congrats on 500 subs, man.
Thanks. Yeah. I appreciate it. Getting there.
Yeah, for real. Congrats, bro. Halfway there.
Yeah.
My man.
Yugi?
All right. So I told my community I was going to make the announcement here. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I need to be honest. All right. I've been slacking, but I gotta come forward now. All right. Big announcement. It's not anything bad. I'm good. It's just that I got to be honest. I've been just so infatuated with this thing called the Bible. I can't put it down, guys. All right. I've been studying it way too much. It's been taking all my time. All right. So be patient with me. I'm sorry I haven't been as active, but I'm gonna one soon. Hopefully, I can't really say. I can't even make a promise. I don't want to keep I don't want to say a promise I can't keep. But there is a life update video coming out, hopefully in the near future, where I'll explain a couple things. But I just been caught up in the scriptures, man. So it's been taking up most of my time. When I do come back, we'll go back into gaming, of course, but right now, my main attention, my infatuation has been with that. Witnessing to people online. God keeps putting people in my hands to witness to, and I'm thankful.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been an absolute blessing. So that's been my journey right now. So if you guys are wondering what the heck, Yugi, I got to be honest now. I have to tell you, that's what it is. I've just been studying, getting involved with church, witnessing, and just, yeah. So, bear with me, be patient with me, have mercy on me, understand I'm not perfect, but soon, little by little, I'll explain more as we go. So hope you guys who are somehow watching, I had to say that. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good for you, man. Prayers up.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah. I keep telling people, like, I feel bad. I'm so, like, engrossed in the scripture, and everyone keeps telling me that's not a bad thing. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to keep going because I'm having fun anyway. So,
yeah.
So.
Well, that's one reason why I keep having you back on. You keep saying, I don't know why he keeps having me on, but that's it, man.
Oh, man,
that's one of the reasons.
Always, I love being here, man. I really do. You guys are awesome. Absolutely. Seriously. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, for sure. So,
well, like I mentioned at the beginning, I've got a super secret video coming up. It's nothing. I don't know. It could be helpful for some people, I think. So that'll be out next week. But this week I'm working on a VR product and game. 2 games, 2 products, all in the same video. All right. So it's going to be an interesting one. I haven't done anything like that before. That's going to be out later this week. So that's me, man. But
awesome.
yeah, appreciate you guys so much for being on tonight. And we'll be back again for another episode with whoever's available. On September 9th, Monday, September 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, go check out these guys. Stay kind and encouraging out there, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip.
Peace.
And then we'll just have this awkward 10 seconds where the stream says it's ending.